Welcome back to our weekly feature, or weekly Friday feature, hashtag YWPI. We meet with WPI student athletes and find out why they selected to come to WPI. I'm joined today by Keith DeSantis from the men's rowing team. Keith, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So let's get involved here a little bit in the recruiting process. How did WPI get on your radar screen for a school to attend?
Yeah, back when I was looking at schools, I was very relaxed about it. But I think it was a family friend's brother came here, and I knew I was looking into STEM schools. So he told me about it. We put it on the list, and then I didn't realize that they had a rowing program for a while until I actually took a step and looked into them. And the fact that they were a really good STEM school near where I lived and had a rowing program is what got them on my list seriously.
And you started rowing as a freshman in high school?
Yeah, I came into high school thinking I was going to be a wrestler. And my dad rowed in college. So he was like, oh, you should try rowing to stay in shape. I tried rowing and realized I was a very mediocre wrestler and I had the chance to be a good rower. So I took the switch.
And it has a good ending. You made an impact last year as a first year, so we're glad. I mean, we could throw you. I could get Matt Oney on here, Coach Oney, and you can go back to wrestling if you want to. Be a dual sport.
I don't think so.
But it sounds like you found the sport that you were looking for. So, you tell us about the recruiting process and taking a visit here to WPI.
Sure. I mean, I think most high school recruits, I was very intimidated at first because I had no idea what to do, but I literally someone told me to email coach. So I emailed Larry, I think Elizabeth, I emailed.
Yep. And
they were super polite. They just immediately responded, let me know that I was on the list to talk to. And then there's the whole thing of, the pre-screening process of sending scores and just talking a bit. And then eventually I got to come to a practice. I think not last fall, but my senior year, the fall, I went and got on the launch and watched the practice happen and just talked with the coaches and assistant coaches. And then eventually after that, and after sending in scores, he told me that he put me on his list of supported stuff. And it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. And it was great. I got to meet rowers who I'd row with the next year.
Great. And you kind of knew WPI was kind of leading the chase, but you wanted kind of your Division I football moment. Is that true? We don't have to talk necessarily about the other guy, but can you explain how you wanted the moment?
Yeah, I applied to I think 8 schools, but the 2 that were really in the running for me were Northeastern and WPI. And as soon as I visited both, and as soon as I heard back, I knew that I was going to pick WPI, but I thought it'd be kind of funny to get a hat of each and then do a little fake D1 thing in my living room with my parents. It was pretty funny, but so I waited a while to let people know, but I knew that I wanted WPI pretty quick from my visits and the recruitment. It was great.
Well, we're glad you chose the WPI hat. Can you tell us, do you remember that first day that you step on campus, either new student orientation or that first class you went to? Is there anything you remember back from last fall specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I was a day student at a boarding high school. So I didn't live on campus, but I'd been through the dorm experience before, but never living there. So that was the first thing that kind of shocked me coming to campus, but it was great. I got lucky to get really great roommates. I remember the first day there was a big meeting with the team. It was for, signing Title IX things and just going over an overview of the season. And it was really great. I mean, everyone was very polite and reached out immediately. Our whole floor, I was in Stod A last year. We all got along really well. Our RA was great. And I'm living with my roommates that I was randomly assigned last year now. So
and that's not a closet. That's your, because I was going to chastise you for having your clothes out, but that's actually your roommate right next door.
That goes directly to my roommate's room, who is probably asleep and hearing all of this.
And let the record show you did clean up for this interview, correct? You did clean up behind you, correct?
I very much did.
I appreciate it. What advice would you have for anybody? It sounded like the recruiting process went well for you. Do you have any advice for somebody in your shoes, maybe rowing specifically, maybe not, what they should look for?
Yeah, I think, I mean, especially if we're looking at WPI, because I know Larry, the coach, really well. It um obviously there's a level of like formality to it, but it's not as scary as people might think it is. It's literally, if you get their email, you reach out, you don't even have to send scores and everything immediately. Just tell them you're interested and they'll respond. They're people. I thought it would all be like automated and scary, but it was really easy.
Larry and automation don't usually go in the same sentence together.
No,
But
Larry doesn't quite understand email that well, but
but he gets back to you, and and just he was engaged the entire time, is what you're saying.
yes, definitely. And when I actually got to go meet him, I was impressed. I was like, oh, he'll just be doing practice the whole time, but he balanced managing practice and actually getting to know me and answering my questions really well.
Perfect. And is there anything about at WPI I hope pleasantly surprised you? Anything you weren't expecting that first year that you really enjoyed? I mean, you talked about the camaraderie amongst your floor, but is there anything else that pleasantly surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, one big thing for me, because I was still deciding between Northeastern and WPI. Like I was pretty sure it would be WPI, but one of the biggest things for me that wasn't, academic or sports related or geography was just Northeastern is much bigger, and WPI isn't necessarily small, but it's a smaller school. And I was really hoping, like, I really wanted that kind of closer community, because like the kind of metric for me was I don't want to do an entire day of going to classes and going to lunch without ever seeing anyone I know. And I can say like for sure there hasn't been a day at WPI that I haven't ran into someone I know.
It's like that perfect. It's like that perfect fit. Maybe you walk to class with me, and you don't get a word in with me because you know everybody, and then you might walk back and you might not know anybody, and
Yeah.
that kind of reminds you that there's so many more people to learn too. It's sort of got that perfect balance, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not like so big it's intimidating, but it's not 300 people.
So, well, great. Well, listen, we are so happy that you picked that hat. And now almost a year and a half into your undergrad days, and fingers crossed that will be that we will see you in the lake this spring. But thank you for sharing your story, and good luck the rest of the term.
Thank you.